Okay, good morning. It's Tuesday, August 21st. I believe today is my cousin's birthday, so I want to say hi to my cousin Sydney Teichman. Or it's his wife's birthday. One of the two. I know it's in the same week. So first of all, happy birthday to them. I'm going to see them tomorrow. They live in California. They're going to Deal, New Jersey for a few days. I'm going to be spending dinner with them, I think, tomorrow night. Okay. We're talking about the halachas of Krishma, which is very important, and there are rules. Everything in our religion, there are rules. You know, the Jewish religion is not a religion like any other religion. Any other religion, what's the religion? You ask a Catholic, what does it mean that you're Catholic? He'll say, well, I go to Mass, whenever they go. Huh? Yeah, but what do they do? What do they do a whole day? Okay, you stop a Catholic. Okay, you're a religious Catholic? Yes. Okay, tell me what you did today differently than somebody who's not a religious Catholic or somebody's not Catholic. What did you do? Did you go to church today? No, I only go, Chalamoid Christmas, or like, what did you do? Maybe some of them will say grace, before they eat, okay? But basically, their life is void of any religion. A Jew, the religion is the life. It's not a thing we do in life. It is life. Everything we do, from the moment we get up, we open our eyes, we say Moda'ane, and in the way we put on our shoes, the way we put on our shirt, the pants, the socks, and the way we walk, we start off with the right foot when we walk. We eat, there's a blessing before and after, and what we eat and how we eat, and blessings. It's just an amazing thing. It's all-encompassing, and it sounds like for somebody who doesn't know anything about the Jewish religion, figures, there are too many rules. How do you live by so many rules? For somebody who does it, it's natural. It's just the way it is, and we almost can't fathom living without these rules. I know for myself, I'm always wondering how somebody who is not kosher, will eat anything, how is it that every guy is not 500 pounds? Because everywhere you go, there's restaurants and McDonald's, and it smells good, and you walk into any place, wherever you are, there's no control. There's nothing controlling you. Thank God, that there are places that they're limited.
Still got fat.
And we're still fat, right? Yesterday I spoke about that there was I don't know if you heard it. There was actually a
way you lie down in bed.
Right. We have rules for everything. For fat people, for skinny people, we have rules for people who are tall and short and so on. Krishma is basically acknowledging that God is one. Everything He does is for our good, and we have to really think about that all the time. And the 2 times a day that the Torah tells us that you must think about it is when we actually say the words Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and according to most authorities, even the words Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Olam Vod, which we say silently. Now, if you will notice that there are 3 parts of Krishma. There's the Shema, which is the first paragraph. There is V'haya Im Shemoah, which is the second paragraph, and then there is the other part where it's about the tzitzit. Okay, so these 3 parts, but the first part is the most important, and but there's a very big, noticeable difference between the first part of Krishma, Shema, and the second part. So today, when you'll be saying it, you'll pay attention and you'll see what I'm talking about. That the Shema is written in the singular. It's talking to you directly. Ve'ahavta, and you should do this, and you should teach your children, and you should do this, and it's talking to you and you alone. It's like God giving, morning, God is giving us
And
a private conversation. Excuse me?
The second part is...
The second part is plural. Everything is in plural. V'hayu im shema tishma'u. And everything is in plural. And lohem, everything is in the plural. But there are certain words which are the same. So, like the word uchasaftem,
written, right.
written. That is in the first and the second. So what happens if you said the word you're doing, uchasaftem, and then now you don't remember whether you're in the first part or the second part? You got mixed up. So the first thing I'm going to say is that if you got mixed up, if you're in the first part or the second part, chances are that you weren't really concentrating. But it happens that you lose track. So there are laws about those type of things. And if most of the time the law is that if you forget where you're holding, you better start from the beginning. Okay, but even the word ukashartam laos halidecha, which is talking about the tefillin that you should tie it on your hands. It's one place it says ukashartam, and one place it says ukashartem. So there are differences, different nuances in every one. I'm not going to get into it today. But if you read it, you should one time take the time and read it with the English and see
and what's
every
the
word.
reason that you have a singular then?
It's like anything else. Life, and when I say life, I'm talking, of course, Torah life is balanced. Everything is has sort of like a duality. The Torah speaks to us privately, personally, singularly, and the Torah also speaks to us as a group. And when we act, the way we act in life, we always have to keep that in mind and balance the two, that you have to do things for yourself. You also have to keep in mind the public and how you interact with them. And like everything that we have going on in our life can be taken in two ways. Mm-hmm. Everything has to be balanced. If you take a look, I'm just going to digress for a moment. If you take a look at this week's Parsha, I thought about this last night. This week's Parsha is called Re'eh. All right?
Re'eh?
I mean Shoftim. I'm sorry, Shoftim. I'm Shoftim. Last week's Parsha. Okay?
Last
week's Parsha. Okay? It's still before the middle of the week, so I can still talk about last week's Parsha. Okay?
Hello.
It says Re'eh unochi nosim lefnechem. See, Re'eh means see. I give before you. Hayom today, bracha uklola. Okay? So there's a few observations you can make of this. I don't remember whether I read this somewhere or I thought of it myself, so I don't want to take credit if it's not really mine. But it says that Hashem is telling us, I give you today before you blessings and curses. Sometimes it's the same thing. The same thing that God gives you could be a blessing and a curse. And it's up to us to balance it. For example, somebody hits a lottery. Okay? You think it's an automatic blessing. For many, it's been a curse.
Some people lose their money within 10 years.
I recently saw a program that 95% of the people who've won lotteries of like $50 or $100 million or more are either dead, in jail, or bankrupt. 95%.
No Yiddish Chicago.
You know?
It goes along with those lines in that parsha that began in the beginning, where either you follow my laws,
right,
you'll be blessed.
Right.
If you don't follow, you'll be cursed.
Right.
So you could live your life the same way.
Exactly.
Bless the laws.
Right.
And if you don't follow the Torah, everything you do is
exactly
cursed.
Now, the Kli Yoker, that Kli Yoker is a commentary on the Torah. He brings this point out exactly. He says that it says Re'ei unosi nosim lefneichem Hayom Brocha v'klol. Now Hayom means today, but Hayom also means the day. And he says the day can be both a bracha and a blessing and a curse. And he says the day we're talking about the sun. And he says the sun is the ultimate example where something can go both ways. He brings down either a Rambam or a Ramban, either Maimonides or Nachmanides, who says that really in the afterlife we know that there's such a thing as Gehenna, as hell. He says there's no such thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He says instead what God is going to do is going to take Motzi Chamo min Artika Shelo. He will take the sun out of its sack. That expression, by the way, is used on Shabbos when we daven. He says he will take the sun out, and for the righteous it will be a blessing. It will cure them. The sun has highly curative powers. You know, people they tell them to sit in the sunshine and vitamin D, and it gives them many beneficial.
Too.
Excuse me.
It's good for depression too. Somebody is depressed.
Okay, so Benny says good for depression. So the Kli Yoker says that God will use the sun to benefit all those that deserve it, and it will burn and scorch those that deserve punishment.
We're doing pretty good.
What?
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah. So when people are going out for a suntan, they're really playing into that. So of course, we have to be careful of the sun. It has many disadvantaged features. So, in fact, if you take a look at the word, what's the word for sun?
Shemesh.
Shemesh. Shemesh goes backwards and forward. It's a palindrome. Okay. Did you know? You're familiar with that word, shemesh?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Sun.
It means sun.
Right.
Okay. So it's a shin, a mem, and a shin. So it goes
backwards
and forward because it can go one way and it can go the other way. In fact, the other word for sun is chama. You familiar with that word, Benny?
Yeah.
Okay, but chama means to warm up.
Cham.
To warm up. You're cold, the sun does, but what else? Chama is the same word as chema. What does chema mean? Anger.
Bother.
Anger.
Oh yeah.
Chema means anger. So the sun can really be...
Chema means also butter, no?
Chama also means butter, so I'm not sure where that plays in it. Somebody, my Rosh Kollel, where I go in Kollel and Staten Island, says that every word that can mean two different things, there's a connection between the words. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure out. I'm going to ask him, how does butter play into that?
Is it butter?
Butter.
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 Better than butter. Anger, so it's anger.
It also means anger. It means it can be a bad thing. It could be wrath. It means wrath also. So it could mean to warm up, a good thing, or wrath, a bad thing. So here we see that. So everything that we do, we have to balance. The same thing that can cause, penicillin. Comes from mold. So mold is a bad thing, but you take it in the right measure. The same thing can be good, and the same thing can be bad.
So, in another word, why we have singular, the first paragraph of the Shema, and the plural in the second paragraph, to show us.
That's one of the reasons they give. That's not my thing. There are many reasons given why the first one is singular and the second one. Maybe tomorrow I'll tell you that. But we see that in the Torah itself, within the same pasuk, where sometimes it switches from singular to plural. And there's always a reason for it, of course. I came up with something cute. I thought about, this is what I was thinking about yesterday, that the Kli Yoker talks about where it says Re'ei Hayom today, he says it means the day, talking about the sun, and that the
No, give us a table. Fix your tefillin.
that the sun's rays can be harmful, and the sun's rays can be hurtful, and it's interesting. Benny, I was saying that the Kli Yakar says that this pasuk is talking about the sun's rays that can be either harmful or hurtful, and what's the name of the parsha? Ray.
Ray is son.
Okay, so here we see. Okay, so it's, I spoke on Tisha B'Av. I said that the word Tisha B'Av, in a cute way, it means, first of all, it means Tisha B'Av, that you have a Tisha B'Av. Av means your nose. So sometimes a Hebrew word, plays into the meaning of the English meaning as well. Not everybody was very appreciative of that, but there is a source for that where we can take words in different languages and fit them into our own into the Lashon Kodesh.
That's a coincidence.
What?
It's coincidence.
It's not coincidence. It was made that way. Like, also we sit on the floor, so the tish is above. It's above us because we're sitting on the floor. So the tish is above. So it's cute, it's funny, and maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. But if it's there and if it sounds that way, then God made it that way. It's not somebody else that made it up. God made those words sound the same. So there has to be a reason for it. How much time do we have? About to start. Okay, so we'll continue with this tomorrow.
Good morning,
How are you?